Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Happy Friday, and that means we have the start of the Summon Rush event for the current fusion, which I admit I haven't really talked much about. So Boilon has gone live yesterday. I haven't been talking about him on the channel here. Honestly, I have a few things to say, but this video is all about Summon Rush and also a little bit about the schedule of events, because it's important to know exactly how many shards that you're going to need to get out of the summon rush, because there's going to be 3 summoning events, all with a different amount of fragments, and if you want to hit those 100 fragments with Boilon, then you're going to need to pick up some of them here today. Well, actually, you don't have to do this one, but I think I probably would. I also want to tell people about an easier way that I'm going to be doing today in order to get this summon rush done. Now, before we get to that, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, what are you waiting for? Download using the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Grand Oak Pad Drag absolutely free. And I just cut that out early. Well, anyways, there was the level 10, 20, and 30 characters there. And you also get Pelops the Victor, second free legendary character. And all you got to do is use the promo code RAID7 within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That is 2 legendaries and 3 epics. 2 legendaries, 3 epics. That's what I meant to say, okay? Let's talk about, not that, because apparently it's not working properly. Where is this? Hold on. I think, will it work now? Nope. There? Nope. Oh my god. Here, this one. There we go. That's what I meant. My apologies, everyone. My scenes were a little bit messed up. Okay, so I want to talk about the Boilon fragment event calendar, because we have, like I said, 3 summon events. We have Summon Rush 1, Summon Rush 2, in a Champion Chase tournament. But what's interesting, and I'm blocking this a little bit, there's a grand total of 150 fragments, which is crazy. Now, if we take out the tournament rewards, because most people aren't getting that, there's 130 fragments. But what that means, though, is there's 50 fragments locked behind Champion Chase, Summon Rush 2, and 1. 50 total from those summoning events. Of these 50, you need 20. Assuming you do all the other events, which is pretty normal for a fusion, right? You have the dungeon tournaments, you have Classic Arena, you have Gear Enhancement, Gear Hunters, blah, 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 blah. All this stuff is pretty normal. This time around, there's 3 Gear Hunters. Sometimes there's 2. This fusion has 3, and also a 3rd Gear Enhancement. Now, if you just want to do the bare minimum for summoning-related events, then you need 20 fragments out of 50 total. Now, you can spread that out over the course of different events, depending on how you want to do this. I typically prefer Summon Rush, especially the first one, because they normally give you a little bit more. There's a total of 20 up for grabs on this event, and this is important to note where they're at. So the first set of 5 is at 2,050, another 5 at 2,800, which is a pretty small gap, and then 3,500, and then there's a big jump to go to 5,100. So we need 20 out of 50 from the summoning events, assuming you do everything else. My plan for today is actually to get the 15 fragments up to 3,500. Now, how can you get that? Well, I mean, obviously, you can go and you can do your Sacred Shards and do some of your other shards. For Ancient Shards, it would be a lot, right? I mean, it's 5 for 100. So what is that? 5 times 30? Like, it's a lot. Ancient Shards don't typically have really great value, in my opinion. For Summon Rush, it's either going to be Sacred Shards, or it's what we're going to be talking about today. Actually, it's what I call the green gold, and it's going to be the Mystery Shards. Because if you've been saving for a while, like I've recommended people do for various fusion events, it can actually do quite a bit. And it sounds tedious as all hell, and it is. I got 7,000 green mystery shards. The other reason why I'm going to be using this here today is because I don't really particularly like what's available, in the progressives, whether it's sacreds or ancients. They have probably the best character on here. It's either going to be Newt or it's going to be Crowcrad Throat Ripper out of those. So it's not something that I care too much about personally. And also the odds of you getting a progressive champion is about 5%. Maybe I think it's like 4.5%, honestly. And there is no 2x bonuses on this. So I really don't like this Summon Rush for that. So instead, I'm going to be doing the Mystery Shard tactic. And I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. Now, for the Void Shards, they're trying to bait people a little bit, because this is the first example of Raya the Mourned that is going to be available in the progressives. Now, for Void Shards, this is a little bit better. I believe it's upwards to, what is it? Is it a 15x or 10x? It's a 15x, actually. So even if you did this with Void Shards, I would not recommend doing this. But if you're really close to the Mercy, 15x is somewhere like, I think it's actually like around 18%. So your odds of actually getting a legendary from the Void Progressive is way higher than it would be for anything else for the regular ones. That being said, again, not a 2x. So I like 2x's to build up to my Mercy. If you're close to the Mercy, have at it and do that. But the odds are definitely not that great. It is just better on a Void Shard. I'm not saying use your Void Shards at all. I'm just saying if you happen to be really close to your Mercy, then you might as well give it a shot. But other than that, we're going to be doing the Mystery Shards. So I need 3,500, and that's going to get me to 15 out of the 20 I need. Now, you can go and get as many summoning fragment shards as you want, or fragments, right? The more you get, I guess you could skip other events. Some people like skipping Gear Hunters because it does take a lot of energy, for example. But for me personally, I'm just going to be doing the bare minimum, I think, that I need for the summoning related events. But I like the gap, right? If I'm going 2050 to 2800 to 3500, it's not much, but there's a bigger a jump going from 3500 to 51. Normally, it's actually higher. Normally, it's 6100. It's in the 6,000 range for a summon rush. But I guess because they have 2 more summoning events, or like an extra summon rush, they've decided to change how this ends up working. Now, the quickest way. Now, I heard you could do this on Android. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not an Android user. But, when you pull the mystery shards and you pull the 10, obviously this is not the fastest, even if you click through, right? And you can click for it to go kind of fast like that. But there's an easier way. Now, at least when you're on the PC, and I heard maybe there might be a faster way on Android, but I don't think there is on iOS because I'm an iOS user and I don't think there's a way. Otherwise, please let me know in the comments down below. But you can hit the escape button. I think there's an equivalent to in the Android for like an escape button, but literally it is so fast. I can just do this over and over again, right? And this is the fastest way to mass pull shards, at least green shards, right? The one downside, though, of course, is that when you're going to get to a point where you're kind of full up, right? And like I want to check mine just for shits and giggles. So my champion vault is, I did buy more, actually. I bought more vault slots. But you can see here that I could do like another 150. So let's just burn that really quick. And then what do you do when your vault is full? Because then a lot of people want to know, what are you actually doing with that? Well, I am going to be saving any extra blues and greens. I'm going to be trying to save a lot of that. But of course, if you're pulling like 3,500 greens, you're not going to be saving all of those uncommons, right? I do like to keep as many as I can for food. But we're going to go in. Now we're probably close to max there. Yeah, pretty much at max. But how many? I actually summoned 6 blues, which isn't terrible because that's going to allow me to save for food champion training, which is actually ongoing right now, but I did finish that up. And I'm gonna go take a character that I actually want to level up, or maybe a food that I want to level up. Like in this case, it's probably going to be a food character. Hopefully, I have someone available. Well, maybe just like this 3-star character, right? And then you can go to the instant upgrade button. Now, the unfortunate part is it's going to eat your greens, right? And it wants to eat your greens. Actually, if I include the reserve vault, it will go to grays first. So that's the good thing. You can kind of check all the characters, and it looks like I'm eating all my grays first. So I'm going ahead to do that, right? I'm going to upgrade them just to get that going there. And then how much of my vault space did that clear out? That cleared out actually not as much as I would have hoped. Can I level up some more? Upgrade level, instant upgrade. And now it's starting to eat some greens. Now, actually, and grays. There was still some grays there. Because I'm going to be pulling so many of them, though, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Right, and I'm already in the middle of a champion. Oh, actually, the Tech of Fates is still running for like another. It's gonna end like in 40 seconds. But anyways, my point is, how much did we eat out of that? We ate like another 300 down. So it is a little bit tedious, but it's a quick way that you're gonna have to basically summon, and then feed them into either food or a character you're currently leveling. Right, and I guess that really depends on you. So do this a bunch of times. It does take a bit of time, and obviously it's not as fast as, I don't know, summoning 7 sacred shards or more if you want, not 10 sacred shards if you're going to 5,000. But I really don't like the progressives that are currently available right now. There's no 2x bonuses going on, so I'm actually going to be using it. I know it's not very glamorous necessarily for a video, but I am going to be utilizing my mystery shards for this event. Anyways, I have a different thoughts about Boilon in general and this current event, but I'm going to leave that for tomorrow, I think, because I need a separate video about talking about his, how useful is he, that kind of thing. I'm not sure I really want to go over his kit and stuff like that right now. For me, it's going to depend, or for most people, it's going to depend on, what you already have available in your roster, to be honest, when it comes to Boilon. I'm not a huge fan of his kit, you know, but that's more from like a I, I don't know. I'm not sure what kind of like roster progression, but I've been playing for 16 months. So you can kind of use that as a small metric there. Again, we're going to go into the upgrade. We're going to the instant upgrade, and we're just going straight to 30. In this case, I'm also just going to go straight to 4-star, make some more food, upgrade level, instant upgrade, and I'm going to double check here. We're going to go all the way straight to 40. Right? So that's really quick. Again, uses up about 300 of my food only to go back to summoning, and I do this all over again. And so I'm going to keep doing that to get my characters from 3-star all the way up to 4-star 40, so that eventually I can use those to get up to 5-star food. I might even be able to pull a few extra cards, but I'm not going to be doing this here in this video. But again, what do we already get to? We're only up to 570, so I need to basically do this 6 more times to do as much as that in order to finish this. So this will take a bit of time, but it's going to leave me with a lot of extra food, going to have a lot of extra blues, all these kinds of things. So it does help. And honestly, you want to use those green shards that you have eventually, because otherwise they keep stacking like mine is. And as a content creator, it's not, again, not very glamorous to show mystery shards, but I do want to showcase that, especially for free-to-play players, this is one of the easiest hacks in order to get fusions cleared faster, because some people might not have, you know, the treasure trove of ancient shards, of sacred shards, or whatever shards in order to get fusions done quicker. And mystery shards can really kind of bridge that gap in order to get these fusion events done, because fusions live and die by the summoning events. If you cannot clear those summoning events, then you're going to struggle and you're not going to be able to clear it, right? You're not going to get enough fragments. You're not going to get the whatever the fusion characters are in other events. These are the most important events that you have to clear in order to beat a fusion. I hope that some of this helped anyways. I'm going to get back to that after I wrap up the video here. But of course, before we go, I do want to remind people that you can use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen to get Grand Oak Padraig absolutely free. We also have Zargala, Tagor, and Farrakhan the Fat at level 10, 20, and 30. And don't forget Pelops the Victor from the Argonauts. Great legendary character here to start your journey off with. And all you got to do is use the promo code RAID7 within the first 48 hours of a brand new account. That's it for me, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you all on the next one. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.